What is freedom? Interesting question, isn't it? Something I've been hearing a lot of late. Freedom. It's a big word in this country. Freedom, freedom. I've not just heard it recently. I mean, it seems to be we're hearing it more recently, but it's one of this country's big buzzwords. Our freedoms, the country, land of the free. What is freedom? Do you know? I'm sure everybody's got their own definition of it. Everybody's got their own preconceptions of it. But one thing I've realized in life is that human beings are usually tricked into thinking things and seeing things that aren't necessarily there. It's easy to fool a human being. I mean, the human mind has been proven over and over again to be an illusion machine, making us see things and think things that seem to be one way, but really aren't. So, what is freedom? Good question. We can look up the dictionary definition of it. Maybe that could give us a very, strict definition. We got several different ones for freedom. We got, I got at least a good 17 ones right here, right off the bat, and this is just off dictionary.com. I'll go through a few of them. Got the state of being free or at liberty rather than confinement or under physical restraint, exemption from external control, interference, regulation, the power to determine action without restraint, political or national independence, personal liberty as opposed to bondage or slavery, exemption for the presence of anything specified, the absence or release from ties, obligations, ease or facility of movement or action, frankness of manner or speech, general exemption of immunity, the absence of ceremony or reserve, a liberty taken, a particular immunity or privilege enjoyed as by a city or corporation, civil liberties as opposed to subjugation to an arbitrary or despotic government, the right to enjoy all the privileges or special rights of citizenship, membership, etc., in a particular community or the like. The right to frequent, enjoy, or use at will, like to have the freedom to use something or borrow something. Or the philosophy definition, the power to exercise choice and make decisions without constraint from within or without. I'm interested in that last one. I think that one's hitting a little bit closer to the mark, and it's from that one that all the others spring from. Or we can go with one of my brother's definitions, which I think is rather apt and funny. He says freedom, all it is, when you're free, you are free to be dumb. That's what freedom is. And again, I think that's a little bit closer to the term. But we usually think of freedom in this idealistic sort of way, Nobody holds sway over us. We're free to do what we want. There's no tyranny. We are free men. You're free to do what you want, huh? Try to stop paying your taxes sometime. We'll see how free you are. Try to drive on the left side of the road instead of the right. See how free you are. Are you really free? Do you want to be free? I think that second question is a lot more important. From what I've seen in life, human beings really don't want to be free in the true sense of the word. They talk about it a lot. They idealize it a lot. They go to war over it. Well, they trick people to go to war over it. Wars are usually fought more for land and resources rather than for freedom. Freedom is just an ideal that you use to get people to shoot the guns for you while you give them the orders. But it's one of the ideals that is supposedly fought for. We sing songs about it. We get all patriotic about it. We rub it in the face of other countries saying that we're the only ones with it, even though many of them got the same things we do. But, it's this word that's bandied about. But when I look at the way people act and the way they talk and how they conduct themselves in life, people really don't want to be free. It's a little too scary. It seems to be one of those abstracts that we love bandying about, but when it's presented to us right in our faces, we'd rather not deal with it. It's a little too much into the air. So we tend to see freedom as something that's, say, this way, when it really is this way. And we'd rather not face this. It's not as pretty. But what is it? And why is it that we don't seem to want it? Oh, I know you guys are thinking I'm nuts by saying that we don't seem to want freedom, but, well, just take a look at how most people conduct their lives. Like, for instance, this country is supposedly a big Christian country. I'm not going to get into that, but you know, there's a whole thing about morality and Christian values and how you need to live your life on those precepts. But the thing I have that might throw a monkey wrench in that is, especially since a lot of hardcore Christians, especially the whole moral rights, are also the ones who consider themselves the most patriotic and love screaming about how we're free here. But yet, you don't live your life according to the way you want to live your life. You may think you are, but you're actually living your life according to a set of rules and doctrines that have been laid out for you when you were a child. You aren't free. If you were free, you could just simply make your own choices and do what you want. But you don't do that, do you? You make your choices according to what something else dictates your choices should be. If you're given a choice of A or B, you don't think to yourself, do I want to do A or B? I think, you know, according to how I feel, or no, you do, the way I live my life, I'm supposed to pick B. So that's my choice. That means your choice was already made for you. Therefore, you're not free. Something else is governing your life. Now, whether you want to call it God, the right path, morality, the laws, whatever the hell you want to call it, that's not freedom. A homeless person is a lot more free than you. Sad, but true. Nothing's stopping them from doing whatever the hell they feel like doing to survive. But we don't really want that. It looks too ugly. I can go on and on this subject, and I had like a nice long philosophical debate that I was going to go into, but I don't want to completely blow this over your heads. I'm only putting up this video not so much to give you guys a definite answer, but just to get you guys to think. I don't like giving people hardcore answers. I like just throwing a whole bunch of questions and having people think about them, because questions are a hell of a lot more useful than answers, believe me. It's through questions that we get closer to the truth. It's through answers that we just leave it alone and go on to something else, whether the answer is true or not. Occam's razor is overrated. Yeah, I said it. But seriously, what is freedom? I'm just leaving you with what I stated before. Freedom is something that you really don't want. Human beings, apparently. Very few people are comfortable with true freedom. They'd rather have something else telling them what to do. I'll leave you guys with this one final little thing that I thought was kind of funny when I thought about it recently. George Washington is considered in this country to be one of the big symbols of freedom. But if you look at how he lived his life, he's not a really good symbol. You want to know a really funny symbol that I happen to see is a really good, well, it's not a perfect image, but it's a decent enough image of freedom. I found it in pop culture. You'll probably get a better sense of what freedom is from Captain Jack Sparrow than you possibly could from any so-called patriot. Just think about that for a second. Don't have to accept it at face value, but just think about it. Really, what is freedom? Just think. Catch you guys later.